Dirtle Magic. Hello and welcome back. You can follow our post on Twitter and Facebook at DirtleMTG to stay up to date on our latest videos and other posts, and you can join a more robust discussion about Casual Commander at our blog, TheDiceBag.blog. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this content to help the channel and the blog grow. Another way you can support the channel, though, is through our affiliate links in the description below. If you're looking for single sealed product or gaming accessories to protect all of that glory, please consider clicking the links in the description. Now, grab some spells, it's time to dirtle. Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be playing the Kessig Huntresses Halana and Alena. Our opponents this bout are Vialsmasher and Kamahl, Heart of Krosa, Traxos, the Scourge of Krug, and Muldrotha, the Gravetide. The actual partner player wins the die roll and goes first. Vialheart drops a mountain and follows that up with a Soul Ring. They then cast Lightning Greaves and pass the turn. Traxos plays a Waste on their turn. Muldrotha plays Attack More Salvage. My turn gives me Grumgully the Generous. I play Balgad Sanctuary tapped and pass. Vialheart does nothing on their turn and pass. Traxos plays another Waste and they cast Swiftfoot Boots. Muldrotha plays Alena Waste. It's a lot of waste today. I drop a Rockfall Veil on my turn as my land and pass. Temple of Malady comes into play for the partner pairing, and they scry. Traxos adds more waste to the table and casts Surveyor's Scope. Aetherhub enters the battlefield for Muldrotha, and I'm surprised to see such a land in the deck. They then cast Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest. On my turn, not having drawn another land, but not wanting to waste the land drop, I played the Temple of the False God. I then cast my Lightning Greaves and pass the turn. Vialheart plays a mountain, and then they cast Read the Bones. They tap down the rest of their mana and pass the turn afterward. Bonder's Enclave comes down for Traxos. They cast Vidalcan Aureli and pass. Muldrotha gains some mana during their first main from the Sanctum, and cast a Champion of Wits, drawing 2 cards and discarding 2 cards. They then play a Terramorphic Expanse, which they crack after casting Sinister Concoction, grabbing an island. My turn scrounges up a land thankfully, and I play it. I cast Grumgully, and give them some nice new shoes. I pass with no attacks. Vialheart casts Cultivate to look for some lands. A swamp comes into play tapped, then a forest. Reclamation Sage hits the field, and the Vidalcan Aureli goes bye-bye to the graveyard. Greaves gets booted over to the Rec Sage, and they pass. Traxos has their own Temple of the False God come into play on their turn, followed by a Wandering Archaic. Swiftfoot Boots gets equipped, and then it's off to attacks. The Archaic swings into the partner player for 4. They take the damage and go down to 34. Muldrotha's turn sees a free green mana to start it off, and a forest into play. Replicating Ring hits the field afterward, and then a Path of Discovery. My turn rolls around, and I receive a Toski. Unfortunately, that's not a land either, so I cast a Branching Evolution. I go to attacks, and I swing into the partner player. They take 3 and go down to 31. A swamp enters for the Vialheart player, and they cast Necropotence. They activate it 6 times and pass the turn. It triggers at the end step, and they end the turn with 25 life. Traxos has Palladium Mirror come into play, as Swiftfoot Boots gets equipped to it. They then draw a card with the Enclave. Traxos drops another Waste, and they go to attacks. The Wandering Archaic swings into the partner player, and they intercept with the Rec Sage. The Sage dies. Muldrotha's turn grants free blue mana, which is then used to cast their commander. Path of Discovery triggers, and Muldrotha gets a counter. Thornwood Falls comes into play, and Muldrotha gains 1 life. They pass afterward. A forest is revealed from my deck, and I immediately slam it onto the tabletop. I cast Toski to get some badly needed card draw. It enters the battlefield with a counter from Grumgully, an extra one from Branching Evolution. I swing with the Goblin in the combat phase, connecting with it against the Traxos player. Toski triggers, and I get an Invigorating Surge. Vialheart performs a Blasphemous Act, and pays the 2 to not have it copied by the Archaic. Everything dies except for the squirrel. Stomping Grounds enters the battlefield untapped, and they cast their commander Vialsmasher. It gets some new Greaves, but Muldrotha doesn't like goblins with footwear, and destroys Vialsmasher with a Sinister Concoction before it can be equipped. The partner player activates Necropotence 3 times afterward. They end the turn at 20 life. Traxos summons their commander during their first main, and let it chew on some shoes. Basilisk Collar hits the stack, and I become a little bit more worried. On the attack, Traxos runs at the partner player, and they take 7, going down to 13 and up to 7 commander. Muldrotha gets a free mana in the form of a black pip, and recasts their commander. It receives another 1/1 counter from exploring. Terramorphic Expanse makes another appearance, and they retrieve a swamp and pass the turn. Hammerheim brings me another red source on my turn, and I cast our commander Halana and Alena, Huntresses, because just the word partner is kind of lame. I go to equip the Greaves, but the girls leave on a Chaos Warp and Impact Tremors lands. I cast Invigorating Surge on Toski, bringing its counters to a total of 13. Equip Greaves, and launch the squirrel. I attack into Muldrotha, dealing 13 and drawing a card. Muldrotha goes down to 26. Mana Crypt lands for the partner player. A Thought Vessel then hits the field, leaving them plenty of room for Necro shenanigans. Exsanguinate hits a stack and quickly drains each of us for 8, adding 24 to Vialheart's life total. They activate Necropotence 7 times and end the turn at 30. Traxos begins their turn by casting Crystalline Giant, thereby untapping Traxos. Into combat, and Traxos plows into Vialheart for 7 more commander damage, bringing them down to 23 and up to 14 commander. Muldrotha has Commander Sphere enter the battlefield with some unusual art. Then comes Tatyova from the graveyard, and it's their creature for the turn. They drop a land, and she triggers. Golgari Cluestone also comes down afterward, along with the Sinister Concoction. They pass, and I'm relieved they didn't cast Plaguecrafter from the yard. My deck hunts and delivers a Shadow Spear, and I immediately cast it. Needing another creature to move the Greaves to, I then cast Obsidian Charmaw, triggering Impact Tremors when it comes into play. I break the Temple of the False God on Traxos' side with the Charmaw's trigger. Then I give the Greaves to the Charmaw itself. I equip the Spear to Toski, and move to attacks. I swing both creatures into Muldrotha, dealing 14 to them after trampling over Tatyova and gaining 14 life. In the second main, I play the Skarg, the Rage Pits I drew from the Toski draw, and equip the Greaves back to the Squirrel. In response to the equip, Traxos cracks their Severoscope to grab some lands. Muldrotha ends the turn at 4, and the partner player at 22, and Traxos at 28. I pass. Mana Crypt triggers for the Vialheart player, and they win the flip. In the first main, they play Cabal Coffers and cast Demonic Tutor. Bolas's Citadel hits the field, and I'm definitely worried at this point. Necroponus gets activated 6 times. Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose enters the battlefield, followed by a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. We each lose 9 life, and Muldrotha goes down. Vito triggers and targets me, smacking me down to 10 life. Necroponus is again activated 23 more times before a Dark Ritual is cast. It's then activated 4 more times, and Chrome Mox is cast and hits the battlefield. Necropotence continues to be activated another 4 times before Aetherflux Reservoir lands on the table. Whip of Erebus hits the stack, gaining them 8 life, and Vito deals 8 more damage to me. Necropotence is activated twice more, and then we see an Ambition's Cost hit the stack. And the Vialheart player gains 9 life, and drains me for 9 with the Vito trigger. I'm knocked out of the game. Vampiric Tutor reaches out for another answer on the stack, and Vito deals 10 to Traxos. Necropotence is activated 1 more time, and Sandstone Oracle hits the stack, triggering life and loss from the Vialheart player. Traxos goes down to -2. Good game to our opponents. I really didn't think that Halana and Alena would be all that good as a commander, but I think there's potential here. Check back for another video featuring this commander soon. Until next time, stay safe out there.